My name is Kemi Akinjari, and I'm sat here this evening with Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki, an astute businessman, an academician, a writer, broadcaster, and the Edo governorship aspirant. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Kemi.
It's nice to see you.
Yeah, life is sweet.
Thank goodness. Well, sir, we're here today because of one thing, and one thing only. You want to run for governorship of Edo State. Now, the first question that is ringing everybody's minds is, why?
As a citizen of Edo State, a freeborn son of the state, I think I have every reason to want to run.
When I say why, I mean why the shift from business, broadcasting, from lecturing, and basically academics to politics? Why?
Bad men rule because the good ones don't get involved. And I think the time has come when we change the political dynamics of our state. The time has come where we try to move Edo State from being that ancient equatorial state to a modern economy. And I think the only way that can be done is if those who have succeeded in spheres outside of politics, particularly when you see politics in Edo State and maybe to a larger extent in other parts of Nigeria, as the sum total of brigandage. It is time for persons who believe they have something to offer that can move the people forward.
And you believe?
I don't just believe. I believe to the very minutest molecule of my being. I believe that I have the verve, the presence, the sincerity of purpose, the vision, the know-how to be able to take Edo State from the current level it is to a much higher level where I think it should be, particularly in the Committee of States in Nigeria. I believe.
Now, 3 words you used just now leapt at me. You said you have the vision, you have the verve to move Edo State from where it is.
Yes.
What is that vision?
Edo is the vision. But for mine, Edo actually is an acronym, not just Edo as in EDO. The vision is wrapped around 3 principal letters of the alphabet. E, D, and O. Empowerment for development and for the creation of opportunities for our people. Because it is an all-encompassing, all-enveloping thing. When you empower people, you will be creating jobs, you will create manpower empowerment, manpower development, educational advancement, educational development, human resource management, and you will create businesses, and you will make the people feel a little more people than they used to be. You will make them feel their humanity. I'm going to create a government that will celebrate the human in all of us. And when you develop, which is the D in Edo, development is also all-encompassing. If you look at infrastructure, human capital infrastructure, if you look at creation of better roads.
When you were just talking, 3 words they leapt at me. You mentioned vision, you mentioned having the verve, and you mentioned your vision being Edo, not as a geographical space. It not as a geographical space, as what?
Edo is a lot to many people. Edo is a people who may not necessarily live within the confines of the geographical boundary called Edo State. Edo is a language spoken by predominantly by almost everybody within the Edo State with different dialects. Edo is a city. That is the native reference in pure nativity to Benin City by the inhabitants of Edo South. Warriye Iri-Edo. In our language, there is nothing like Warriye Iri-Bini. So because of the all-encompassing nature of those 3 words, I decided to wrap around my entire vision for the state within the confines of those 3 words, and in it be able to bring out the import of those 3 words as the key. Let's put it well. If it is internet now or your phone, the PIN code to unlock the entire developmental machinery, the vision which will pilot my mission as executive governor of Edo State.
No, empowerment for Edo.
Empowerment is E. I spoke about empowerment, as in educational empowerment, human resource empowerment, financial empowerment, and all sorts. Development, manpower, infrastructural development. Because when you talk about development and you build roads, and you don't develop what those roads could be used for, you don't develop the human capital that will drive the economic potentials of the state using those roads, then you have not completed the development quotient. Then opportunities. You see, because as a businessman, life is about opportunity. Remember that old song, bang, bang, opportunity, opportunity comes but once. It is the ability to recognize the presence of that single opportunity that could change the entire speak and landscape. That is key. And I think Edo State is a land filled, to use the biblical, with milk and honey. And God has been so kind to our people to place us in the very epicenter of the equatorial rainforest. Because what God gave the Edo man free of charge is what people lack in almost 60 to 70% of the surface of the earth. Remember when I was much younger, they did We Are the World, because rain not grew for Ethiopia. And yet we were in Benin, where rain can continuously fall for 7 days in a week non-stop. And what does that breed? It creates the right fertile soil and creates a preponderance of agricultural produce that grow as weed. Look at plantain, for example. I'm just looking at the opportunities. Look at plantain, for example. Look at the palm trees, for example. All these things are things that grow in Benin by default. I have not seen anybody actually walk out of his home in Benin or Edo or Isan or Ebiekoi or Enyai or Magbayo to just go and start tilling the soil to plant plantain. Because the sapling of a plantain never dries. It's all over Benin, sprouting all over the place like speckled dots on a leopard's hand. That shows that God has blessed us. But have we harnessed God's blessings for our collective good? That is where the challenges are. Because if we take if we seize the right opportunities, jobs creation will come as a direct derivative. And when there are no jobs, kids will steal. When there are no jobs, courtesan will rise. When there are no jobs, the female ones will seek solace in being molested abroad. When there are no jobs, the government loses its primary responsibility to the people.
Which is the government's primary responsibility
is to create an enabling environment for life to thrive.
And now the current government responsibility. How?
No, I think, to be very frank with you, we have to call a spade a spade. If you take into consideration that from 1999, we are in 2015, a period of 16 years, a child that was 4 then is 20. Edo State actually totaled on the brink of failure. It was almost like a failed state. So when Oshomole came, whatever the amount of progress Oshomole had done, had initiated, must be appreciated. Except we are a race with short memories. We have to tell ourselves the truth. Benin man say, "I will not be no madam." Normally, here you go.
So
kill the man that pounded that prepared the wrong pounded yam. Yeah. What about he that didn't prepare nothing? So you cannot continue. I don't think it is fair on Oshomole to hang him high and dry as a sacrificial lamb. I don't think so. I think it is better we appreciate the enormity of the challenges Oshomole had faced in the last years, and also appreciate the contributions he had made within that space of time. Because if I'm going to spend my years as executive governor chasing those who failed, I won't have time to create a future for our people.
So, Dr.
I don't want to be saddled or saddened or tied down to the competitive banter of did he do well, did he not do well? No. I'm going to take it where we are. I see it as a tabula rasa, a new clean slate, so that we can have a good springboard to take the state upward from the pedestal that Oshomole has taken it to. I told a friend, Oshomole is not our Moses, not our Joshua. Edo State is not in the promised land yet. But Edo State needed a Moses. And I think Oshomole is that Moses. He has made us cross the Red Sea. That made the people realize there could be one man, one vote. That made people realize roads could actually be constructed by the state government. What is a road construction? That is the duty of government.
No, before we get to the duty of government and responsibility, you mentioned appreciating the current governor and using his government as a springboard to taking
Not his government. I said things on ground.
Things on
government
ground.
must take total responsibility for everything on ground.
Yes.
Both failure to act and those they acted upon. That's why the Englishman says by error of commission, which means something you did deliberately, or omission, that is, or something you forgot to do. So I think Oshomole should take the plaque for the problems with Edo State, but he should also take the glory for whatever progress Edo State had made from where it used to be when Oshomole came into power. Edo State is not where it used to be when Oshomole came into power. And as an academician, it's going to be difficult for me to wish away the successes of Oshomole for political grandstanding or political gain. I don't think that would be sincere. I think that would be lacking sincerity of purpose and a political mindset and political orientation of the state. And I cannot do that if I begin to flounder and banter. I'm not Oshomole's PRO.
No, you're not.
I'm a governor. I'm a governorship aspirant who has a dream for my people, and my dream is not hinged on anybody's failure.
Now, Dr. Pedro, you mentioned as an academician, you know that theory, what's on paper, is much, much different than what is practicable and applicable.
Okay, thank
you.
you.
What are you going to do differently to what has been done and what is being done now in the state?
Before I answer that, I want to let you know that any man or any group of persons who defy or discard the theorem can never get a practice. It is your inability to apply the theory practically that is a shortcoming. But theory, water must be H2O. Theory, somebody brought about the theory of quandary mathematics that led to computer appreciation. But that is on the one hand. Theory is key, but the ability to make the theory manifest is different. Dreams are great, but a man without a dream cannot make any dream manifest. Now, how will I make my dreams manifest? Number one, I will look at agriculture. Agriculture is the main reason why the white man came to Benin. Not just in the last colonial experience, but right from the time of Afonso Daviero and Bartholomew Diaz, when they came here in 1550, in the reign of Oba Ozolo and Oba Esige. And that is still the reason they came back in the 19th century. That is the reason they created the oil rivers. The oil we talk about wasn't crude oil, it's palm oil. And that thing still drives industries around the world. Nigeria still cannot meet close to 65% of its palm oil needs. And yet Benin, Edo State, the center of the equatorial rainforest that creates palm by default, has neglected that. I want to create agricultural communes so that we'll be able to harness that which God has given us free of charge. That is on the one hand. On the second hand, I will look at creation and resuscitation of existing industries. Number one, you look at Okbela Cement Factory. It is a travesty that which had made Dangote the single richest black man on planet Earth since the creation of the earth, since Adam and Eve, the most liquid man, at least in quantifiable terms on earth, is basically based on cement. And cement, it runs through the entire length and breadth of Edo North. And Edo State reposits close to 56.3% of the total cement deposit or limestone deposit in Nigeria. We can create 4 or 5 cement factories. And the biggest building boom in Africa is in Nigeria. Just 6 years ago, Lagos ended at Lekki. Today, Lagos is knocking on the doorstep of Ekpe, 40 kilometers forth. Just 4 or 5 years ago, Amagba was a village. The building boom is booming. And yet we are importing cement or buying from Dangote that which God gave us free of charge. Let's wake up and smell the coffee. That is on the one hand. On the other hand, I will look at health. I told them in some of the interviews I've had of late, I want to do programs that will tie the people so that they can see the humanity in the program, the soul of the program. So I used Edo. Now I'm using the next one, Ehi.
You mean life force or the world?
No, life force. Life. EHI. But in my own, it will be Edo Health Initiative. That Edo Health Initiative is also tied around another one, an ASAM name, EHIS. Edo Health Insurance Scheme. These two will work pari passu and work in cybernetics, one into the other. I will create for Edo people a new form of health appreciation, because health is wealth and health is life. And the most neglected part of our policy is the non-availability of an articulated health policy by government. I will create a new hospital management board that will robustly regulate and standardize hospital practice in Edo State. Under EHI, or Edo Health Initiative, I will also create an insurance scheme that will cost just 1,000 naira for 4 years, so as to provide unfettered health facility and fettered health access to the elderly and the poor.
That's EHIS, Health Insurance
Scheme. The insurance scheme will be an insurance scheme that uses the insurance, the health initiative. Are you getting my point? Now, under that same health initiative, I will create a linkage system, a health linkage system between the public and the private and primary and secondary healthcare providers. Now, what will just happen is everybody goes to the hospital, you must be registered. And that registration must be fed into a database. And that database will be available to every hospital in Edo State, or maybe outside of Edo State. And what will you do? So if Kemi Akinjare walks into a hospital and her name is written, your name is written on the computer, it shows your health history even in the last hospital you were in, so that nobody treats you for malaria when you have typhoid. And you see, those little mistakes kill more people than even the illnesses themselves. Then on the other hand, I'll create a rapid response ambulance service. It's not difficult. The cost of an ambulance is the cost of the vehicle, and then the first aid kits you put in it. So it's not going to change anything. And that will be primarily driven by the private sector, so as to create a verifiable and veritable healthcare delivery. Because when good health is good business, when people see that keeping people alive is business, they would rather keep them alive than make our hospitals mortuaries even for the living.
And your government will handle all this, the healthcare system that you are revamping, that you are going to revamp.
Yes,
rather.
yes.
The government is going to handle
it is a cardinal promise. It is an irrevocable government commitment, because you are only a government you are only going to be governor over the living.
Well, Dr. Pedro, if you go back in time, you are a historian. If you've studied a lot, you will see that virtually no business at those states does prospers.
No, that's because no. Let me tell you. That's why let me take you back. I said it will be a public-private initiative. It will be in the hands of the public sector. Why is it going to be in the hands of the public sector? We are aware that the Edo State government, almost from the time of Obamodia, after the time of Obamodia, is a bad businessman. The parlor state of most of the parastatals of government, particularly those that are meant to be business, will show you that the Edo State government is a bad businessman. Beer and beer breweries,
Crystal beer?
Breweries all over Nigeria thrive. The one in Edo State is shut down. Cement makes Dangote the richest man in the world. Cement in Edo State is moribund. Esa land and every place after Eho, Ogwa, back of Iroekme, Ewato, down to the valley of Ewoimi is inundated with pineapple. And yes, Chivita, a primary source that uses that, is one of the biggest companies in Nigeria. While our people who produce the primary originating raw material for that are living in squalor and penury. So the government is in business is bad for business. So I know that. So we are going, as I said, it's going to be private sector driven, so that people will realize that it is tangential for people to stay alive, for him to even make money. I'm going to look at education. I'm a product of education. Edo State today is a sorry state, is a pale shadow of its educational self. I'm going to look at sports. I'm going to blow up the Igwe festival to become the cultural icon of the West African sub-region, because it is the single longest running unbroken cultural festival anywhere in Africa. It is more than 600 years old. It was started by Obaewaye when he decided to take Ewe and Oyoyo for wife, two sisters. And Ewe is the great-grandfather of Esige, and Esige ruled in 1550. So the festival has been there. It has never been broken, and it is not a juju festival. It's just Ugi. So I'm going to look at culture. I'm going to look at agriculture. I'm going to look at education, and I'm going to revolutionize the landscape of Edo State by introducing a 21st century, cheap, easy to run monorail.
Okay. Dr. Pedro, this all sounds beautiful, but because of time, I want us to talk about what drives almost every form of development. Let's talk about money. Now, you've mentioned agriculture, health, reviving moribund industries, culture, tourism, and all that. Recently, Edo State was just plunged into another dark abyss of loan taking. And all these things that you mentioned, money drives them. Money drives every campaign. So for you to even decide to run for governorship, you have to have some real good sponsors of money. How are you going to contend with the political gladiators, borrowing the word you used, who are backed up financially, and how are you going to drive all these things, saying as Edo State is already plunged into a lot of debt?
You know, there are three questions there, all based basically on finance.
On money. It's a double-barreled question.
Okay, it's triple barrel.
It's triple barrel.
Okay, the first barrel is, let me help Kemi. All these high-fulating, nice-sounding ideas, how are you going to fund them?
Exactly.
Thank you. That is one. Number two, second question. Who's funding my campaign?
That one.
Number three, the government has just borrowed another 75 million US dollars, or close to 15, 16 billion naira.
And government is
a continuum.
It's a continuum.
So those are the three.
So
which one do you want me to answer first?
I'll go. Who's sponsoring you?
Okay.
That one.
If you don't know why, my hands are clean. I've never been in government, and I've never stolen anybody's money. And I want to say this clearly. I don't have a single sponsor. Why don't I have a single sponsor? When you pay a piper, he dictates the tune. So when one person sponsors me, I'm going to answer to him. If not, I will be insincere. So to use the words of Buhari, I want to belong to nobody while belonging to everybody.
Does that mean you're an APC member?
We'll come there. You don't want me to answer this question?
No, you will.
Okay. Now, what I've done in the last few months is to go around the world telling people of Edo origin and descent, you cannot hope to change anything when you don't put your money and your mouth where your mouth is. You cannot change Edo State if you allow the cosmetic defacing or refacing or renovation of the political players in the state. You won't have change. You just have an exchange. So I am sponsored by everybody who believes in my project. So if you go to my website, www.obaseki2016.org, people are donating. So I'm collecting donations from everybody. But I also tell everybody, if you give me money and you are tying it to a caviar for me to give you something in return later outside of good governance, sorry, you're either losing your deposit or you can take your money back.
Bad investment.
So it's bad investment. So what I'm saying in plain language is, we cannot change the political calculus of Edo State if we do the same thing the same way and expect a different result. That is that. How do I wish to fund this? I didn't talk about my ESDI.
That will be?
SDI is Edo State Diaspora Investment Initiative. Now, this is an initiative which I'm doing in collaboration with a couple of banks that will allow every Edo man who has $100,000 to deposit as a 10% part of an equity participation in a $1 million worth business. This is simple arithmetic. We have been in this economic quandary, either because people steal the money voted for proper things, or they have been in the hands of people who are not used to managing funds. If you have a business worth at least $1 million, you need to have a business worth at least $1 million to qualify. Government will mark you with what we call a 90% equity participation. I will give you an irrevocable guarantee tied to the revenues of the state with XYZ ABC Bank. That ABC XYZ Bank manages the funds both in disbursements to you. And all remittances and all income generated will go straight to that bank. You take your normal, and the bank takes back the government's money over a good period of time, a minimum of 5 years. And upon payment, the business is totally yours, while returning government's money at 0% interest. But what that means, before you can take that very sweet, the carrot is you must, for every $1 million, you must employ 25 Edo citizens in gainful employment.
One governorship term lasts 4 years.
Yes.
And this lasts 5 years.
Yes.
If you do not get a second term bid,
yes,
and another government comes in, what happens to the money?
That is the problem with governance in Nigeria. You said earlier, government is a continuum. It must be paid by the next government because the tenure is not the lifespan of this government. So it must continue. The national plan is usually a 5-year rolling plan. And that is how businesses are done. You cannot walk into a bank to collect money. The bank will tell you, give me a spreadsheet of your turnover and of your finances over a period of 5 years. So, and that is a standard industry practice. It's not going, the tenure of a governor should not now change the economic and financial and accounting dynamics that is practiced all over the world. Okay. So that is how that is going to be. So I will bring in money. Now, when money is in circulation, government may necessarily not be rich, but government will be wealthy. Government is wealthy when there is a continuous roll of the wheel without a clog in it. If money continues in circulation, then the economy is buoyant. Because America, the number one economy in the world, is the world's largest single debtor. America owes more than $30 trillion. You know, but your debt should not be larger than your economy. And there must be a particular percentage of GDP that should go into debt servicing. And all the present debt in the state has to be restructured. There is no other way to it. If not, our children will end up, our great-grandchildren yet unborn, will end up being serial debtors even before the spermatozoa fertilizes any yet to be pregnant woman's womb.
Dr. Pedro, you're an intellectual joy to speak with, but there's a time constraint. And this final question, you need to answer me. What political party are you vying under?
I will say this clearly, so that I don't seem to ruffle feathers. This is read my lips. I am a card-carrying member of the All Progressives Congress, APC. I am a card-carrying member. I hope to run under the banner, on the platform of the APC. But as a gubernatorial candidate, I am an Edo State candidate. I will run under any party that I believe has an Edo people outlook. The contenders are many, and that is the beauty of choice. I will speak Benin, don't be offended.
No.
Ahano, Ayatoragon. Choice is that which triggers prosperity in life. So I don't have a problem with that, but they must create a veritable level playing field, so as not to create everybody think that if you not be money bag, if you not be no. I'm not a money bag, but I will run.
Thank you.
And I'm running to win.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much.
Yes, God bless you.
Nice having you.